Hi, intrepid viewers. Well, you've probably heard on the grapevine, there's a troll operating on this channel. So before I go any further, dear intrepid viewers, you are so onto it. So what is happening is, and keep making your comments, it's fine. I live for your comments. But some people in the comments are getting a reply from someone saying, with my little picture, and saying nice things like, it's so great to be part of this, rainbow collective sort of thing. If you want a reading, WhatsApp and a number. Apparently the number doesn't connect or anything. So I'm just alerting you to it. And if you see that, if you fall into that category, if you can be bothered, don't worry if you can't, you go to the reply by the trollette, and there's 3 little white dots, and you just press report or something. But otherwise, don't worry about it as such. It's annoying, but so far it hasn't resulted in anything too awful. So just know I do not do readings on the phone. I live in Australia and I have a $30 a month, really simple phone plan. Don't do it. Okay, I'm sure it won't translate into any trouble for any of you, but I did want to let you know. So I keep thinking about Texas. Stuff is going on in Texas, so I'll come back to that. In other news, Wilbur Ross. Now, do you all remember the Commerce Secretary, Wilbur Ross? He slept through the last 20 years of business meetings. And while he was in charge of the Chamber of Commerce for the entire USA in Trump's reign, he slept through those meetings too, but he stayed awake long enough to make $58 million just in those 4 years, just from piggybacking off his position. I'd love to see someone go for Wilbur Ross. It's a lifetime of corruption, So I don't think anything's going to happen, but we have to keep track, don't we, viewers, really? And in other glorious news, one of the Proud Boys, I think there's 2 who are being charged with the T word in their actual indictments. And one of them, his name is Robert Geistman, and he's just been formally charged with 1 or 2 counts of terrorism. So it's really good that the full-blown capital T word is being used. So I'm going to read on him. Canada has declared the Proud Boys a terrorist organisation. Go Canada. Doing something right again. Okay, so let's see. Robert Geistman, how's this going to go for him? I'm hoping that we're sort of reaching the peak of this far right stuff. It'll be around for a while, but I was just seeing today, and I was thrilled, that now people on the right are whining and complaining because they're losing their jobs, they're becoming unemployable, because bosses look up their sites, and if they see they're hardcore far right, you know what? They're not employing them. So it's coming back to bite them on the bum a bit, So let's look, in this case, to Robert Geistman. I don't know more about him. I don't know what he actually did. And it's kind of good sometimes when you don't know too much. I'm just going to look at Robert Geistman now. How's his trial going to go? Okay. Oh, quel dommage. Quel lastema. All of that. Oh. Okay. Sorry, I didn't pull you down. I haven't got one of my beautiful cloths. I've just got my tablecloth today. Look, what I will say, intrepid viewers, if I was Robert Geistman's mama, I'd be in tears right now. This is shocking. This is not cryptic. This is bizarre. Okay, it starts with the death card. you all know from listening to all of us readers that it rarely talks about literal death. One thing we do know is it is a time of transition. The sun sets on one way of being and the sun rises on another. So his is rising on another reality, that he's a federal felon, allegedly in the making. Things are not looking good for him. He's going to mount a defence. Well, you know, you go through the motions. There's always some Mickey Mouse lawyer who'll defend somebody for the fame. So, you know, someone will step into the legal breach. Then that lawyer, I think, is going to walk away. It's certainly not Robert Geistman walking away from this. I think the first lawyer or two could walk away. He's done like a turkey. But here's the card that's interesting to me. This is the card of karma. You know what? So don't tell me you were just sucked in, you poor little petal. You know, you were hiding out in those horrible sites probably for a few years before this. And he's like the canary in the coal mine, in a way, this guy, Robert. He's the canary in the coal mine. This case is going to influence a lot of other cases. So we're going to have to watch that unfold, but it's extremely grim. Now, I've never understood why the Proud Boys chose the name the Proud Boys, but I am pleased to report Carl Nassib is the first active current NFL player to come out as gay. So full marks to Carl. Awesome. Because the more top people at sports level, you know, in high sports, the better. It takes a lot of courage to come out in these, you know, elite sports. And you know what? If everyone who fit that category and self-identifies chose to put their hand up at the same time, it would be a bit of a shock for most people. Okay, yeah. All right. So the voting rights bill. Obama has come out. This is the one that's called the For the People bill. Well, you sure need some repairing to be done on your voting system, America. I mean, Banana Republic doesn't cut it, describing the system state by state. Some states have normal sort of procedures, but a lot don't. So Obama was saying the voting rights bill has to be passed before the midterms. Now, we all know it'll go through the Congress, but will probably not get up in this evil graveyard called the Senate, right? They need 10 Republicans. I can't see 10 Republicans being brave enough, honest enough, interested enough, dedicated to their country enough. I think that's the line the Dems should be saying, pushing the patriotic line. So it has been requested, so I will read on it. I hope my jaundiced view does not impact on the cards, but I think something has to happen. So we'll look at the future of the voting rights bill short term. Don't forget, viewers, nothing's set in stone with this stuff. Like, you know, things are going to change eventually, and in quite sudden ways when they happen. So don't get disheartened. We're all experiencing this huge upheaval, this huge questioning of how things are done. So I'm going to look at this as I read as this first installment. So let's see what's going to happen with this For the People bill. Now, will it, no point reading it, I'm sure it'll get through Congress. It's whether it gets through the Senate. For the People. This is very interesting. Very interesting. So I would say no, now, this first big round. Why? Because of the devil. People chained to the devil, meaning chained to the Yeti, but also chained to what is now the GOP. God knows what it should call itself, but, it's not even Republican. Okay, they're chained, but always remember the chains can come off. And that's important because nothing's going to happen this round, I would suggest, but new perspective coming forward, the halo. The hostage. So people who are imprisoned and the hostage, but with both of these, people can release themselves. Same with the hostage card. She doesn't know it, but she can get out of her bonds and step forward through the gap in the swords. So, and then the victory card, which gives me no end of hope. So, excuse me, putting that together, I think with these two cards, some people between now and the next time it comes up to be voted on are going to release themselves of the bonds. Please, let's hope that's the case. So not now, but it will, I hope, before the midterms. Now, back to Texas. The hideous creature. What's the governor? Abbott, or whatever his name is. We have a very bad Abbott here, so, okay, the Yeti's going to Texas and he's meeting up with Abbott, and they're going to have photos taken in front of the 69 miles of wall that he built, and they're going to say it was 450 and all of that. So I really hope they get slammed when they do these ridiculous photo opportunities. But let's see. Back to Texas and the power situation. I think Texas is symbolic in so many ways, like Queensland, my home state. We do it our way. We don't do it like everyone else in Australia. The thinking about other states, they may as well be out of Manchuria to the average Queenslander, or for the old Texan diehard, right? So I think what's happening in Texas is because I understand so many jobs are invested in the power and oil industries, etc. So those exact number of jobs and more need to be created with alternative sustainable technologies. People chase jobs. They'll fight for filthy jobs that'll kill them, and they will get used to having jobs that are actually better paid and cleaner. They'll adjust. But it's a hard adjustment because the thing of being separate and different and independent it's ingrained in you from birth. I know the rave and how it goes. So that's why I think Texas is being singled out in many ways for what's happening. So we've had the first situation of Texans freezing. Now we have the same thing happening in summer. So I'm just going to go forward and just go, will the majority of Texans wake up that having your own grid is spectacularly stupid? And if only we had the stupid tax, as I have often said, intrepid viewers, there'd be so much money to do good things with, wouldn't there? So the question is, will this finally nudge Texans towards some sort of realisation? Will this move the old guard Texans or not? Will this move the old guard? Will this move the old guard? Here we go. The Empress. Oh, interesting. Oh, these nice cards. And oh, now I was raving on. I was shuffling, and the victory card comes out again. I think here you've got these lovely cards. Let me show you. The Empress, the land of plenty, meaning plenty of resources. It's a rich state in that sense. The Lovers card should be nice, except the problem is that the Lovers are in bed with the Hierophant, which is the existing government. So the problem is it's had a sweetheart deal with the old guard all this time, but not going to go on forever. This is the new leader, right? And Texans are changing demographically. So getting younger, getting more diverse, changing, not a minute too soon. And these things take a long time. Normally, I'd say not that long this time. People will defend the old way of thinking and doing and being, but it's going to look progressively stupid. Instead of it being just a truth, you know, I'm Texan, so, you know, what I say about Texas, you know, big, bad and fabulous. It's shifting and changing. There will be new leadership in Texas. They've done their best to bodgy up the ballots and all that stuff, not to mention Cruz. How come he's still there? How come he's still got a job? Let me just have a quick look at Cruz. And then I'm going to look at channeling Ruth Bader Ginsburg. So just a quick one on Cruz, because I can't believe he's still allowed out walking and talking. Before I get to Cruz, there's been huge pushback on those Catholic bishops. Mind you, it wasn't the Catholic Church itself, it was these right-wing bishops. And their hypocrisy has been laid bare. How dare the Catholic Church threaten anybody with anything to do with children, born or unborn? How dare they? And they haven't got away with it. And I'm thrilled. And I saw that. I thought they wouldn't get away with it. That's before all the support came. Okay, so Cruz. Give us some news on Cruz. News on Cruz. Oh, I just heard Matt Gaetz. Matt Gaetz. Couldn't happen to a nicer man. He's going down the toilet. Now back to Cruz. Yeah, there he is. Chickens and Ace and the Chariot. Yeah, but where's he going? He's got the Strength card. Knight of Cups. Oh, I'm not seeing him going. I'm not seeing him going to jail. I'm just not seeing it. Look, I'll be brief because it's a boring spread. Two Kings. This can be my Biden card, but obviously isn't in regard to Cruz. And this is the sharper King of Swords, difficult and prickly to deal with. He has a lot of connections, which sort of explains the way he's going on. He's got powerful men in his corner. He's lucky. He's lucky. Yeah. The Chariot, things rolling on. He's got the Strength card, right? These are major arcana cards, both moving on for him. And the Knight of Cups continuing on. So this is an emotional offer. So I would say, you know, this is him talking to whoever does vote for him or supports him donor-wise or whatever. Hate that. Love to be wrong. Would I love to be wrong? So rarely happens, I'd like to think, intrepid viewers, but there you go. I hope I'm wrong about Cruz, and I hope he gets arrested next Wednesday afternoon. I hope he goes to jail by Christmas, but I don't think so. Okay, now the extraordinary, amazing, inspiring Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Oh, I'm getting goosebumps. That's always a good buzz. Ruth Bader Ginsburg, can you please share with us what you think of this schmozzle going on? Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Ruth Bader Ginsburg, please share with us. I'm leaving it open what she wants to share. Ah, Queen of Swords. Thank you, Ruth. She's here. The woman high up in the judiciary. You've got to love that. God, I love tarot. Okay, she's looking first, looking at defending. Oh, that is just sublime. I don't think I'll go any further. Oh. Okay. So, as I said, here she is and will always be a queen of the American legal system. I just heard democracy while I was shuffling the cards. Keep it simple. I think that's her biggest fear now. She used to worry about this and that and that and that and that. You know what? Now all she's concerned about is the fundamentals of American democracy being taken away from people in many ways. See, this is the 7, you know, this is different ways. It might be a gerrymander here, it might be a closed booth there, it might be qualification somewhere else. All the different ways it is being attacked. 2 7s, by the way, out of only 4 cards. And she is asking you, that is, every sentient American who cares about the country and the future must defend, 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 defend. Outcome, though, is very good. The angel of temperance. So the chances are really high you guys will get there, but only if you're prepared to defend it. So to a certain extent, for those of us who were born after the Second World War, baby boomers and stuff, because the wars in the Middle East tend to be very distant for most people and so forth, we saw ourselves kicking back a bit. And the point is, baby boomers have to connect with millennials, and millennials have to connect with Generation Z, and everyone, that's the different parties, need to get together to defend it. But you know why it's so important and so good is because America as a democracy, it uses the word, although, you know, if you actually had a technical definition, it probably wouldn't pass anymore. People were becoming more engaged. It was drifting, and things can be lost permanently through drift, just fewer and fewer people voting, young people not bothering, drift, drift, drift. You could have drifted out of a democracy. As it happened, the Yeti had his role to play, and that role was bringing everything up really quickly. And although it's been painful and, you know, crushing at times, and I know we're all particularly exhausted with it, it had a role, the Yeti had a role, which was to pull the blinkers off America and say, any clown can just sell this country down the river. You know, vote for me, vote for me. So the theft of the democracy had started long before Trump. You are being called to defend it. And in your best interests, I genuinely think America will be a stronger, better place than it would have been. If you take the whole Trump thing out of the picture, you were already, those in America, in the most unequal country in the world. You know, it's that deep irony if you say to the average American, what are you most proud of? What does it mean to be American? You know, what is the 99 people out of 100 will go, because I'm free. Like other people in the world aren't free. By what definition free? Why is that special free? You know, not getting it. But that's enough. You know, land of the free, home of the brave, whatever. So I think people are having to revisit the dream that America is at its best. So I wish you all the best with that. Please, hope I get off tomorrow. I'm trying to get on a plane to go to Sydney. So my next video will be from Bondi again, only Bondi in winter. And hopefully I'll have dealt with the skunk stripe. That's hard to say. Haven't even had a drink. So I wish you all the best, and I'll be back in a few days. So comment away, comment your little hearts out. I really need your comments. Seriously, your comments keep me going all this time. The comments rock. But just be aware, if you get a weird reply with a sort of disjointed phone number and a message about readings, nah. Either ignore it or press report. So you take care, right? All the best. I love you. I love you. Love you. Mwah, mwah. See you soon.